Right, hi everybody. Okay, so I'm going to show you today how to make two types of scrunchie. I'm using Bernat Velvet yarn and a 5mm hook and just some hair ties, but I'll show you that coming up. And what you get is the traditional style scrunchie and also this style scrunchie. So you've got two variations to play with. I hope you like it, and I'll see you later. Bye. Right, so a few of you have asked for a tutorial on how I made the scrunchies in my stories. So I've decided to put together a couple of different ways to do scrunchies using the velvet yarn, the Bernat Velvet, that I've been making pinafores in and all sorts of things. So you'll need your Bernat Velvet yarn or any yarn that you wish at that stage. I'm using hair ties, these quite chunky hair ties, but you can use elastic as well. I know that if you're a child of the 90s, you'll remember making your scrunchies and using dressmaker's elastic, but these work perfectly well. So the first way I'm going to show you is the more traditional way of doing a scrunchie. So I have crocheted a long length, and it's over 2 rounds of your elastic hair bubble, probably 3 rounds is closer to it. And I've used a 5mm hook, and I've just done trebles. I think I've chained 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 8 stitches, so I would have chained 10 or 11 with the turning chain. So you want it nice and thick because we're going to fold it over to create that scrunchy shape. So, not casting off, leaving your stitch in place, take your hair tie, and you want to just fold or sort of scrunch up your length of work with both the ends pointing the same way. So there's this end pointing that way and that end, they're both pointing that way. I'm going to put that over the top like so, making sure not to catch your yarn really. I don't know how I'm going to do that. We'll sort that out in a minute. Maybe do it the other way. So I don't want to trap my yarn in it, so keep it on the outside. Let's do it again. Okay, so I came at it from over the top. Actually, I want to come at it from underneath, so I don't trap my yarn with these bits out of the way. So what you've got is something like that. Then you want to find your 2 ends and match them up. Can you see here? They're my 2 ends. And now I'm folding the work out. So I'm pushing it out. So now you can actually see it starting to look like something that you might recognise as a scrunchie. And the reason that I've left this stitch in is because we can then close this side seam all the way around here by crocheting it together. So I'm just going to double crochet all the way around and back to the start. So I'm just going to do that roughly. I'm not going to do anything too fancy and try and work out where to go or anything. Just going to crochet round. now, and there, I'm back to the beginning now, and all we've got are these two ends here. So leaving a really long tail, cut your work, slip stitch to hold it in place, and then I'm going to use a darning needle. So I use these plastic darning needles that you can get online, eBay. They're usually children's sewing needles is what I search for, and they come in all sorts of different ones, or you can use a metal darning needle, but I find these are easier to thread when you've got a thicker yarn. Here's the tail from my started piece of work, so I'm going to poke that in as well, because I think that might be a good idea of hiding it like that. And now what we want to do is we want to sew all the way round, but not these two ends together like that. We actually want to sew it shut so it keeps the channel open on the inside. So I'm going to sew that together now. I'm probably just going to use whip stitch to do that, because it's just simple and easy to do. Okay, poke that through that side, come out this side, and then do the other side. Oh, I've lost my thread. I'll just thread it back on. Okay, find the tops, the work, and then I'd be tempted just to sew the top of the double crochets together. Just give you a nice even finish like that, see? Okay, so cast that off and weave in the ends. So I usually cast off in a similar way as I would crochet. And just weave in the end. I'd probably pop that in there. Give it a snip. There you go. One velvet hair scrunchie. Now you can always turn it so that the stitches are on the inside. There you go. So you get more of a scrunchy shape. It's up to you, it's your preference how you wear it. There you go. It's a perfect 90s scrunchie. Ta-da! Now I'll show you the other way I made a scrunchie, which is a little bit more simple and would make excellent stocking fillers, good for craft fairs, that kind of thing. So I'll show you with one of these. So I'm going to attach my yarn straight onto the band. I'm using my 5mm hook, and I'm going to treat it just like I would a magic loop. So hook through the loop, or in the same way as doing the mini wreaths, if you've seen that tutorial. Pull up a loop, yarn over, and that's chain one. Now if you're being clever, you can pull your tail over to one side and actually crochet over the top. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just double crochet round as many stitches as I can. The more the merrier here. So I'm double crocheting, and that's single crochet if you're in the US, but just doing it all the way around, catching the tail underneath as I go, so that I don't have to weave it in. Hooray! So I'll slow that down. So it's hook into the band, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And just do that all the way around. And leave the tail off now because it's getting fiddly. I'll snip that in a minute. Like that. So we're coming back to the start now. One more for luck. And slip stitch to join. And that's quite cute as it is, but actually let's make it more something like this. So chain 1, and then do half trebles in each, 2 half trebles in each stitch round. So that's a half double if you're US. So find your first stitch, yarn over, into your stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. So you've got 3 on your hook, yarn over, through all 3, yarn over, into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 on your hook, yarn over, through all 3. And repeat that round. So you want to do 2 in each. And that is going to give us that lovely rippled effect, which looks so cool. I'm doing 2 in each. So yarn over, find the next stitch, hook and stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, through 3, yarn over, into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up, 3 on your hook, yarn over, through all 3. And this yarn is lovely to use because it really glides along nicely, and it is quite tricky to see your stitches. I've been using it now quite a lot, so I've made 2 pinafore dresses, a jumper. I'm currently making a skirt for myself, so I'm used to finding the stitches. So don't worry if you're sort of struggling or finding it a bit tricky, and it doesn't matter if you accidentally miss a stitch. It really doesn't matter. Nobody's going to be able to tell. It's just a scrunchie. And we're just going to work 2 in each, and as you can see, it's already starting to do that lovely ripple effect. And again, you can do this with elastic. You could just get a piece of dressmaker's elastic, fold it in half, tie a knot in the end, and do exactly the same thing around the elastic. You don't have to have hair ties in the house. I'm just using them because I have them to hand, and they're a good size to work on. They're not the little ones, the little thin ones. They're quite a nice chunky size, so they're quite strong, so they can hold the yarn nicely. So we're almost there, look now. And for little ones, I would probably recommend stopping here, just doing this one round, so that it's not too bulky. But if it's for yourself, or you do like that sort of bulkier look, then let's go around again. So I'm going to chain 1 up. So I've gone all the way around, I've slip stitched to join, and I've chained 1 up. I'm going to get rid of that little tail now. Like that. There you go. Chained 1, and now what I'm going to do is I am going to do one half treble and then 2 half trebles, and I'm going to do that all the way around. Oops, sorry. So 1 half treble to start in the first stitch, like that, and then 2 in the next stitch. So find my next stitch. So 2, and again 1 in the first stitch that I come to, and then 2 in the next. So it goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 all the way round. 1, 2. One, 2. Just seeing how it looks. As you can see, it's starting to look sort of more like that. So I'm going to keep doing that all the way around. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. By adding the increases, we're getting this lovely rippled effect, which looks so good on the velvet. Try and speed this bit up in the video. If I can't speed this up in the video, I'm really sorry that you have to watch me do this the whole way around. I'm getting to the end of my yarn, so it's getting a bit tangled. So there, I've gone all the way round, and now I'm going to slip stitch to join, cast off, weave in the ends, and there you have it. Another cool scrunchie. So I would weave in the end of that. So there you have it. I really hope you liked these tutorials. I'm hoping to do more of them and hopefully get better at them. But I hope you can see what I did there. And if you have any questions, just ask.